Hello, beautiful soul. I trust you're well, and I trust that you've had an amazing Christmas and that this last day of 2024 is going to be a beautiful day for you. Now, I wanted to kind of hop on to this last day and share a little bit about something that you can do today to help you reflect on the last year and also then set intention and get clear on what it is that you want for the new year. Now, before I hop into this, let me just say, if you are listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or any of the other platforms, you can go over to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, the Sacred Living Academy, or you can just go at Coach Healer Leonie and you'll find the YouTube channel. You can now watch it as a video as well. Back to the podcast, back to the episode. Today, I wanted to kind of hop into reflection. I've taken a lot of time over the last at least 3 weeks to create a lot of space for myself, to step away from the business, to step away from all the doing, and just step into a space of being, stepping into a space of not doing anything. Now, let me just say this. It was one of the hardest things that I had to do because I'm always creating. I'm always in the space of creating something new, working on up-leveling or upgrading the content that I have for the academy, for my students, for my clients. Even though I'm still seeing some clients, I kind of stepped back and it was, like I said, it was one of the hardest things that I had to do. And I recognized that. And within that, I then allowed myself to let go of that busyness, let go of the doing. And what I did was I created space and I reflected. There was so much reflection on how far I've come over this last year. And there was a lot of times where actually I sat and I had to think about things because I was also listening to podcasts and other people's, steps on reflection and questions that they can ask themselves to help them kind of look and see how far they've come and what they've done, what they don't want to do, what's good, what's bad, the whole thing. And a lot of times I couldn't even remember what had happened during the year. In all honesty, the last 6 months, so since June, since I had this massive rebrand and everything falling into place for me, it feels like this has been going on for years because essentially I have been building on my business and everything for years. But so I had to reflect, and upon reflection, I realized that this time last year, I was in a very different place. I was almost lost. I was searching. And then the first 6 months of the year just got to a point where I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm either going to find the right coach, teacher, somebody who can help me with this process, or I'm checking out. Like I gave the universe an ultimatum and I was like, I'm out. If you don't support me, if you don't give me direction now, if you don't help me to bring all of this together, then I'm tired of struggling. And it was in that moment that I found my business coach and the Sacred Living Academy and the programs and Sacred Beginning and Sacred Healing and everything else was born. So a lot has happened, but there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of good and bad. There's a lot that I was sitting and reflecting on. And I wanted to take the opportunity to bring those steps to you guys. Now, I'm going to be looking over there because I've got some notes because my mind is kicked into the new year. We're launching Sacred Beginnings in the next week. So I've got a lot on my mind. So I want to make sure that I get all the steps and I want to make sure that I give you this. So here are a few ways, first of all, that you can create space. So if you say, Leonie, I'm really busy, I'm still working, I don't have time, I've got the family. Here are 3 ways that you can create space without doing anything extra, without putting anything else aside. Okay, So the first one is instead of being on your phone while you're sitting and having a cup of tea or having a cup of coffee, is put your phone down and have that cup of coffee, have that cup of tea, but sit in silence, reflect, sit and think. And you'll find that first of all, your brain is first of all going to go into a million different directions, but just with every breath that you take, every sip of coffee that you take, just bring yourself into the moment and just go, what has happened this year? Just sit and reflect. So that's one of the ways that you can create space. The other one is in your car, while you're driving, instead of having music on or listening to the radio, switch it off. Just switch it off. There's no reason for you to always have music on, always have the radio on, listen to, or even sit and feel like you have to create conversations with your kids in the car, right? Use that time that you are on the bus, on the train, or in the car to just sit and just be. The other way that you can create space is instead of being on your phone when you're in bed, ready to go to sleep, switch off. Just switch it off. And not just is it going to be good for your brain to switch off for you to have a good night's sleep, but it's also going to be really good for you to just sit and ponder, sit and reflect, create that space. So there's 3 ways. And I'm sure that if you really want to, you can think of different ways for your own life where you can create the space. Now, let's go into some of the points that you can reflect on, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to find 3 to 5 things that you did not enjoy last year. 3 to 5 things that was not a good experience. 3 to 5 things that you really didn't like about the last year. Now, the reason why I'm saying 3 to 5 things that you didn't like or 3 to 5 things that went wrong is because quite often when I say to clients or when we think about it, we go, tell me 3 to 5 things that went really well this year. And we can't think about it because it's a human thing, right? The good things are just, they go, they're fleeting. It is the things that causes the emotion behind the situation that we remember, right? It's the little traumas that we have on a daily basis, right? So if you go and sit and think about 3 to 5 things that you did not like that happened, occurred in the last year, you will have 3 to 5 things that you can then go and turn around later on, okay? So take those same points and reflect on how you could have done it differently. Okay, so you can take those points and you can go and reflect on it and you can say, how could I have done this differently? What steps could I have taken to have a better outcome? Did you receive the intuitive hit? Did you receive that gut feeling that told you that it was not going to work out right? And then you still did it and then it turned out right. So it's a reflection. So can you see how when you look back at that, by reflecting on how you could have done it differently, you are essentially training your brain to start looking for solutions, looking how you can do it differently in the year to come, okay? Then take those same points and reflect on how they helped you grow. Now, this is the question. Did you grow from those 3 to 5 points? Or are you still stuck in, why did this happen to me? Okay, why does this always happen to me? Why can't I get this right? Why do I keep attracting the same people into my life? Why do I keep attracting the issues that I have at work? If you have that mindset around those 3 to 5 things that you have written down, you are caught in a loop of trauma and blame and just you don't want to be there. Or did you actually learn from what those three things, 5 things brought into your life? Then what you want to do is you want to turn those into gratitude. You want to look at each one of those points and you want to go, how am I grateful for that thing that happened in my life? Because if we can't turn that into gratitude for that one thing that happened, then there is work for you to do there. It means that you are truly caught still in it. And that's the beauty of when things happen to us, for us in our life, is we can take it through these steps and we can learn from it and we can reflect. And because this is the last day of the year, we can, take the opportunity to reflect on the year that's been. But you can also use this exercise as a tool to take you into 2025 so that when something comes up for you, when something happens for you, you can go through this process. And I will make sure that I have these steps in the show notes. You can take this process and you can learn from everything as you go along, and you can process through it and you can learn and grow and move on. Right. Now, when we talk about the new year, the whole New Year's resolution, again, when we ask some people, what do you want for the new year? What is your new intention? What do you want to build? Sometimes it's really hard. Again, I want to flip this around and I want to go, what don't you want for the new year? So if you reflect on what you've had in the last year, maybe 2 years, you can take it and make a list of the things that you don't want in your life anymore. Okay, so you don't want to attract certain people into, certain men, for instance, into a relationship. You don't want to have so many fights with your partner. You don't want to struggle in your business. You don't want to be stuck in this pattern of not being able to make money. Okay, whatever it is, write it down in the negative first and go, this is what I do not want for myself for the next year. Then what you can do is you can turn it around, right? You can go, well, if I don't want this, what do I need to do? Who do I need to get in touch with? What coach, what mentor, what healer, what steps, what tools do I need to take me away from this list that I don't want and put me in the direction of what it is that I want? You've got to work it backwards. It's the same with business, right? If you want to create $1 million in your business, what you want to do is you want to go, that is it. Then you work it backwards. So if you're in business, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if you're thinking about you don't want to have that limiting belief, that pattern that stops you from creating money in your business, then you need to start working it backwards and you go, look, this is the pattern that I'm playing over and over and over and over. I have tried this, and this for myself, but I'm still playing the same patterns over and over and over. So how am I then going to not run this pattern anymore? You're going to get a coach. You are going to get somebody who can hold you accountable, somebody who can help you work through that. Because if you're playing that pattern in your life over and over and over, there is a block or limiting belief that you are not seeing. The subconscious mind is keeping you from seeing that thing. And sometimes you just need a little bit of help. Okay. And then who do you need to become? Okay, so if you know the steps, if you know the person, you know the what, the tools and everything, who do you need to become to take you into the future? Who do you need to become? What do you need to do? What steps do you need to do? How consistent do you need to become? What do you need to put into place on a daily basis for you to not have the same year or have the same situations or the same relationships that you have had over the last year, to not take that into 2025? And again, these steps can be taken month to month. If you really want to dig deep, you can go and do it on a daily basis. You can go, what did I do yesterday or what happened yesterday that didn't turn out as well? Where didn't I show up for myself in the way that I should have showed up for myself? And then you can go, well, I don't want that pattern to play, on loop, on repeat tomorrow. What I need to do tomorrow is I need to set an alarm to remind me to do this thing. Or I need to get my husband or my kids or my coach to keep me accountable and go, this is what I'm going to do in the next couple of days. And then and even if there needs to be a consequence, right? If let's say you've got kids, older kids, and they can hold you accountable and go, if I don't do this step today, I will pay you $1. Okay. Or if you want to make it really, really high risk, you're going to go, look, if I don't do this step or this thing in the next week, I'm going to give you $100. Trust me, they will keep you accountable. Okay. So you can use this. So it's not just about ending the year and New Year's resolutions. It needs to be a moment to moment thing. So I hope that this podcast, this episode has rung true in some way, has given you some guidance, has given you a little bit of insight in how you can look differently at, the reflection and the intention setting and the New Year's resolutions, and how you can actually bring it into your daily life. Because, my dear friend, that is what you want to do. You absolutely want to bring this into your daily life. And what this is a sense of awareness. It builds awareness. Now, if you struggle with awareness and you struggle to follow your intuition, you can grab the Awareness and Intuition Masterclass on my page. It is up there. It's evergreen. It's going to be there all the time. And it is the smallest investment, and it will make a massive difference in your life. So go and grab it. Even if you've been on the spiritual journey for, let's say, years, and you are still experiencing loops and patterns and, things in your life that keep happening over and over and over, I guarantee you that you will find value in going back to the basics, going back to and really putting attention on your awareness. And then that will flow on into your intuition. Okay. If you don't know how to recognize your intuition, if you don't know how to build trust with your intuition, I have got in the masterclass, I have got some really good information there for you. And there's an amazing game in there that you can play. And it will just help you build the trust, recognize, build the trust, and act on your intuition. Now, before I leave, I also want to just hop in and say, thank you. Thank you for each and every one of you who've been on this journey with me, with the podcast over the last 3 months, I think it is, that we've had the podcast, for every client, every student, and every person who's come through my life that was a teacher to me. And that's probably most of my students and my clients, because there's always a reflection. But thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm feeling emotional. Thank you for walking this beautiful journey with me. Thank you for bringing your energy into my life. Thank you for trusting me to help you on your journey, to help you level up, to help you get rid of the things that don't serve you anymore. If you were part of the Sacred Beginnings course, thank you guys. You were amazing. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your willingness to take action and do the things. And thank you for growing so beautifully. I feel like a proud mama when I think about all my students, and I think about all of my clients that have come through, and the clients that's still working with me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of my journey in 2024. And guys, 2025 is going to rock. 2025 is going to be life-changing on so many levels. And I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you feel motivated. I hope that you feel like you want to change, that you want to do and be and have more in 2025, because you deserve it. take care. Enjoy this last day of 2024, and I will see you in the new year. Take care, beautiful soul.